you. Thank you, board members, for coming to our special board meeting today. Today is Wednesday, June the 23rd. It is approximately 4:38 p.m. Would you please rise to honor our flag? Thank you. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The purpose for this special board meeting is to discuss and vote on the proposed tentative labor agreement with the Buffalo Education Support Team, better known BKA as, or AKA as BES. And our second purpose for this meeting is to discuss and finalize the superintendent's evaluation. First part of this meeting will be held in open session. The second part, we will discuss with the superintendent his evaluation. We will go behind closed doors. At the end of that session, the board will come forward, present a document, and make a statement in regards to the results of the superintendent's evaluation. So without further ado, let's talk about the BES labor agreement. Does anyone have any questions about it, I guess, at this point? If all minds are clear, then may we entertain a motion to vote on the labor agreement with BES. May I have it?
May I just reform that, Madam President?
Yes, Nate.
Thank you. Yeah, so may I have a motion to approve the proposed tentative agreement between the Buffalo Educational Support Team, otherwise known as BEST, and the Buffalo City School District and Board of Education, covering the time period of July 1, 2012 to June 30th, 2025. Any first? Mr.
So moved.
I saw Jennifer's hand and Larry's second.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So before we take a vote, are there any comments that board members wish to make in regard to this agreement? No.
Dr.
Nate?
Kane, your hand is up.
Yeah, Nate.
I'll say something real quick.
Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead, Dr. Cash.
no, you can go first, Larry. Dr. Cash can wait. Thank you.
I just want to say that I'm incredibly proud that we reached this point with our teacher aides and teaching assistants. I've found them to be invaluable. Many of them live in our city of Buffalo. Many of them are of color, and this has been something that they've long deserved. And I'm proud that we reached this point for a compromise, successfully renegotiated this contract. And I am very proud to cast my vote in support of this renegotiated contract.
Thank you, Board Member Scott. Are there any other board members who would like to speak at this point? Mr. Hurd, your hand is up. You have the floor.
Yes, I would like to thank Dr. Cash and the district for sitting down and working a tentative deal out for the labor union contract. This is a monumental day, and this affects a lot of families across Western New York and a lot of homes. So I'm glad that you're able to reach this point where you can sit down and iron this out, because through all of hundreds of emails that we received about this and hundreds of phone calls, you know, we know that this is very important to our community and our families. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Hurd. We have a hand raised for Board Member Paulette Woods.
I just want to concur with what the rest of the board members say. Our teachers' aides and our assistants are invaluable. They are role model to our students. They provide invaluable service And I am truly glad that they are getting a reward, and the contract is being settled favorably to increase their income. They deserve it. Thank you to the administration.
Thank you, Board Member Woods. Are there any other comments in regards to this before I allow Dr. Cash to have the floor? Thank you. Dr. Cash, would you please proceed?
Yes, colleagues, two brief comments. First, I wanted to thank the team led by General Counsel Nate Kuzma, Dr. Darren Brown Hall, Jamie Warren, Jeff Pritchard. They were outstanding in this work. We talked frequently, and we really knew that it was a priority for the board to get this contract done, and that's what we attempted to do here. So we're pleased if you're pleased, and I think that I do believe from reading the best leadership Joanne Sweat's comments that we prepared a press release that'll go out right after you do your work here. They are very pleased with this contract as well. I think that's important. All right, so that's statement number one. Statement number two, and Jeff isn't here today, he's taking a much deserved vacation, but I do believe, Nate, that you and the BFSA were able to sit down and talk because board members, as you know, we sometimes have to have the BFSA weigh in on these contracts before they get final ratification. And I think, Nate, if you take it from here, I believe the BFSA was very pleased with this contract and our 4-year projections in relationship to it. Did I misstate that or state that correctly?
No, we met with the BFSA on Monday. They held a meeting to discuss and provide recommendations to the board. I think as of yesterday, the board members should have received a copy of BFSA's report and recommendations on the contract, and they were overwhelmingly, complimentary of the district, for striking a balance between providing, fair competitive compensation increases to this group, while at the same time, negotiating and keeping pace with the marketplace in regard to certain health insurance reforms that we needed to make and maintaining certain management rights. And they were, certainly pleased and commended, the district and the board for its, its ability to strike this type of deal, for its fiscal responsibility, to have the resources to strike this deal. I assured them that, not assured, but I told them that there will be, now that our, the fiscal uncertainty of the pandemic is clear, we are back at the negotiating table with other groups. And we will, as Dr. Cash directs, bargain professionally, fairly, and vigorously with all of our bargaining units. And they were pleased to hear that as well. So it was a good meeting with the BFSA, and they overwhelmingly supported this agreement.
Thank you. Dr. Cash, just one question I have. Ideally, when will the teacher aides and assistants receive their laptops, their computers? Yes.
So Nate, when is this new agreement going to be in effect?
Well, it's in effect once the board votes, but it really starts as of July 1. Which is next week. And in terms of the laptops and the computer devices, which are not necessarily part of this unless we are virtual, which I know the expectation is that, as Dr. Cash said, all things, staying the same, we'll be back in person 5 days a week next year. But it is still a priority, and I can confer with Myra on using some of the next round of the, what's the name of the grant, Darren? The
Smart Schools,
yeah, the Smart Schools grant, the next round of that, using that to provide our aides and assistants with devices, and I can get the board a timeline on that.
Thank you. Just curious, because I did see that in the
now what I will say, President Cottman, if any teacher aides and assistants are working with our summer school kids, I don't know if they will be, but if they are, because I assume that some of our kids will need that kind of support in summer school, then I want all of those teacher aides, assistants, and health aides to have a laptop for this summer in order to do their work, to assist those students. So the short answer is, now that we have this additional money, we have the additional foundation aid money, I'm gonna go talk to Myra tomorrow. I have my weekly meeting with her and say, expedite the onboarding of these laptops while we wait on the refresh, because we have to wait on the refresh for the reorders that are being deposited. And let's use some that are being turned in by teachers as we close out the school year, and let's let the teacher aides and assistants have those if they provide that support for the summer school program. So as early as July 5th, they could be getting them into their hands.
Okay, thank you. I guess what that also brings to mind another question. Are we hiring, other than in the medically fragile environments, are we hiring teacher aides and assistants this summer to help with the students and their studies?
Well, that's a question I'm going to be asking.
Okay, could you give that?
I think we should talk to the best chair there, Ms. Sweat, Nate, and see what they would like to do. I know in the summer, some people want to continue to work and others want to take some time with families, but I'd like, let's huddle Nate tomorrow and find out what that bargaining, what Best wants to do for the summer. And I'd like to onboard some for the summer. I would like to.
Well, I know we do. We post for the summer positions. They have to submit a letter of interest in April. And I know that it's particularly with our special education group, our 12-month special education group, their IEPs require aides and a teacher aide in many instances. And so a lot of those students will, by mandate, have the teacher aide assigned. And then of course there are other schools and classrooms running throughout the district where we utilize our aides and assistants. So we will have a robust group. I imagine, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, of teacher aides and assistants in our buildings this summer.
Great.
Okay, great, thank you. So maybe you can forward a report to the board with those numbers, because in this environment, particularly coming off of the hazards of COVID, certainly we need as much support as possible in those classrooms to move those children to the next level. So I'd like to make sure that we're making sure we're enhancing them that way. Thank you. So if there are no additional comments or questions or concerns, Council Kuzman, can you poll the board for us, please?
Absolutely, President Cotman. How do you vote on the tentative labor agreement between the district and the Buffalo Educational Support Team? Dr. Kathy Evans-Brown.
Yes, no contest.
Okay. Mr. Hurd. Yes, thumbs up, Mr. Hurd, just so I can see it. I couldn't hear you, so I think you're muted.
Apologize, I was muted. Yes, I'm in total agreement with the contract.
Thank you, Mr. Hurd. Ms. J.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. McCosey. Yes, I heard you, Mr. A yes from Ms. McCosey. Mr. Petrucci.
Proud to stand in support of this contract.
Thank you. Dr. Rivera.
Happy to support it.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Board Member Woods.
Be in support.
Okay, so yes. President Belton Cotman.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Contract passes unanimously. Thank you, board members, and I sincerely appreciate you. I know that your next item is very important as well, but I appreciate you scheduling this time so we can get this done for this group of people prior to July 1. I think that's very important to them, and they will be excited knowing they're entering the new fiscal year with the new collective bargaining agreement. So thank you for your time today to do this.
Thank you, Nate,
Thank you, Mr. Kuzma.
for the great job that you're doing in our legal department. Moving forward, I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss the Superintendent, Dr. Kreiner Cash's evaluation, May I have a motion, please? Saw Terrence Hurd's hand and Paulette Woods. All in favor? Please. Any opposed? So moved. Mr. Petrucci, will you let Mike know that we need to go into executive session? When we come out, we will have a prepared statement, and we will also disclose the score of the superintendent's annual evaluation. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So thank you, everyone. The board went to executive session to discuss the superintendent's annual evaluation. At this point, Board President Sharon Belton-Cotman will read a prepared statement. President Cotman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Petrucci. The board, while in executive session, did not take any actions. However, we had a discussion and we have come up with a composite statement in regards to Dr. Kreiner Cash's annual superintendent evaluation. It reads as such. The 2021 COVID-19 school year strained every school district in America. Urban districts were especially challenged by the insidious impact of the pandemic on families of color. From the start of this year, our superintendent, Dr. Kreiner Cash, was clear. He would limit the chaos in repeated openings and closures that had engulfed districts around the nation and especially in New York State. And he would create a medical science infrastructure that would guide the district's decision-making process and form the basis of all communication with district stakeholders and the broader community. Dr. Cash met those foremost consequential goals completely. The Board of Education, with administration and respect, appreciates that our superintendent and the district's reopening plan was pressure tested and validated repeatedly throughout this momentous year. Superintendent Cash also kept our district focused on what children must attain, even under the strain of a pandemic year. Seniors of the 2020 graduating class must meet their individual goals and graduate to a post-secondary option of their choice. And current students must have equal attention paid to their social-emotional well-being while meeting their academic needs. By the start of 2020-21 school year, the New York State Education Department calculated a 2020 graduation rate of over 76%, the district's highest rate on record. By mid-year, it was also clear from regular updates to the board from Dr. Cash and his cabinet that the district focused on a comprehensive set of whole child student needs was being addressed at the highest quality levels possible. Additionally, the board is impressed with the maintenance of district external relationships and internal operations during this historic and demanding year. The district was a model of collaboration with levels of government and civic leadership when addressing the child care, nutritional, technical needs of our students, families, and our Buffalo community area in whole. Our district was among the first in Western New York to offer COVID-19 testing for the public at schools, sites, and then the COVID-19 vaccinations when they became available. Our building operations remained agile, responsive, and unfaltering, with Dr. Cash directly engaged on a daily basis with addressing each and every need brought to his attention. Finally, the Board of Education is grateful that as we end this historic pandemic 2021 year, we are pleased that our superintendent will aggressively respond to our high expectations for next year. The education bargain, complemented by strategic input from all district stakeholders and academic achievement, will be bolstered to meet the known and as yet unknown needs of our students after the pandemic. The Buffalo Public School will again be in a financial position that rivals any district in America, and we will use ESSER funds to advance the upward momentum and continual transformation of our schools. For this and for all of his years of continued dedicated service to the Buffalo Public Schools, this Board of Education expresses its deepest appreciation and highest accommodation to our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Kreiner Cash. Our composite scores consist of the following averages. Relationship with board, 3.33. Under management of district, we have instructional leadership, 3.71. Leadership for executive staff, 3.78. Management of employees, 3.67. The relationship with our community, 3.49. Focus on results, 3.75. Leading change, 3.85. Professional and personal attributes, 3.71. The board composite average is 3.64. Dr. Cash, we are proud to have you as our leader in our district. You have done a phenomenal job. We look forward to working with you this year and knocking the ball out of the park. Thank you on behalf of the Buffalo Board of Education, our community, and the students and the staff of this district. We appreciate you. To God be the glory. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, board. I do. Each of you.
So, with that said, board members, are your minds clear and your hearts set? If no one has any further discussion, we will adjourn this meeting. Our next board meeting is scheduled for July the 1st, in which it will be our annual reorganization meeting. It has been my pleasure to be your president for the past 2 years. I look forward to the change in leadership that we are anticipating for the new year. Thank you for allowing me this privilege, Buffalo Public Schools and community. With that said, we have a,
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
By Kathy and Lou Petrucci, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are now adjourned. Please remain safe. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Have a good evening.
Have a good evening.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.